Hi, my name is Simpliana Mason. So today I will present about introduction for the development process. So what is mixed development? Mixed development is a building that combines several types of use such as residential, shop lot, offices and many others in one complex or specific location. In relation, mixed development becomes more important due to the rapid growth in the city. By implementing this kind of development, it can provide a neighborhood that integrated with a work-life play spaces. In the long run, citizens will occupy spaces that near to their work and leisure location also, and then therefore use the fuel car for commuting. Studies mention that constructing a mixed development as any combination of commercial or non-commercial uses can enhance the importance of mixed development. Other than that, involve the smart growth principle can an effective and efficient use of land also. In a mixed-use project, there will be a various element. Each of these elements has a different composition that require expertise in the development of the specific elements. Thus, a proficient and diverse development teams is required for the success of the mixed-use development project as compared to any another. As a result, mixed development is becoming increasingly preferred in urban or metropolitan setting, which its potential to revitalize urban corner and allow for increased population visit. Then move to the categories of mixed development. There are 4 categories of mixed development. Number 1 is a single high-rise building located on a specific site combine 2 or more mixed-use elements in one building. Traditionally, a retail store at a street level, which office spaces placed over the retail section and residential apartment, or a hotel placed over the office section. The second one is it can occur through several high-rise buildings placed in a single site, with each building having a specific use. The third one is a collection of several low-rise buildings in a single site with rental spaces at ground level, residential apartment placed over in one building, and office spaces in a separate building. The last one is a single medium risk building placed in a specific site, in most cases in an urban environment, which rental spaces at ground level, and residential apartment or office spaces placed over them. The next slide. This slide is talk about why the mixed development is becoming popular. So with its proper mix of its commercial and non-commercial section, it can be seen the successful in increasing the use of mixed-use development in urban and suburban location in this country. Not just that, it also have a greatly generate economy that can attracting the office and rental property rates. From the social perspective, number 1 is it can increase community bonds where create opportunity to contact one another by creating a strong community identity in the mixed development community. The second one is increased workability, because the workplaces, residential, rental store and another services location become near in one specific location. The third one is enhanced customer visibility, and the last one is attraction of emerging workforce. From the economical perspective, number 1 is it's budget friendly. So this can create a compact environment by reducing the transportation cost of individual from from their house to their workplace or around the store. Because mixed development, as we know, it's in one place, so individual can go near to the store without using the transportation regularly. So the second one is a higher tax revenue. So as the area grow bigger or denser, the value extracted per acre increase. The third one is a decrease in developmental risk. Last one is a lower infrastructure cost. So last one is from the environmental perspective. The first one is it can promote a sustainable urban planning. So the live, work, play principle can be used in the same development, which this will help in achieve achieving the sustainable goal of walking or cycling to work instead of driving. The second one is promote environmental conservation. So by cutting down greenhouse gas emission, so this can reduce the traffic jam and overall promote the conservation of the environment. The last one is optimum use of resources. So by having a variety of amenities in one building, it can reduce the maintenance expenses for individual buildings.
Assalamualaikum, my name is Muhammad Hazwan and I will be presenting about the literature review in the magazine. So the first content in the literature review is the introduction to mixed-use development. So what is mixed-use development? Mixed-use development is a concept that is becoming an important part of urban planning. Simply put, mixed-use development combines residential, commercial and sometimes industrial spaces within single area. This means that instead of having separate zones or for housing, businesses and entertainment, everything is integrated in one location. This approach is designed to create self-sustaining communities where people can live, work and enjoy leisure activity in one place, reducing the needs for long commutes. So what is the benefit of mixed-use development? So the main purpose of mixed-use development is to create convenient, efficient, and livable community. It helps solve urban challenges like long commuting hour, inefficient land use, and environmental impact. Here are some key benefits of mixed-use development. The first benefit is convenience. Everything is within walking distance, making daily life easier. Second one is less traffic and pollution. With home, workplace, and shops nearby, people rely less on cars. Next is better land use. Instead of having large empty areas at night or during the day, mixed use spaces are active and vibrant all the time. And the last benefit is stronger economy. Businesses can get more customer and property values increase because this area attract both resident and visitor. In short, mixed use development makes city more efficient, sustainable, and enjoyable to live in. Next is the mixed use development in Malaysia. So let's look at how mixed use development in is shaping cities in Malaysia. This trend is especially noticeable in high density areas like Kuala Lumpur and Johor Bahru, where land is limited and urban expansion need to be carefully managed. One great example is KL Eco-City, a modern mixed-use development that integrates residential building, office, tower, shopping center, and public spaces. Development like this helps reduce congestion, encourage walkability, and boost economic activity. So the Malaysian government also support mixed-use development as a way to improve urban mobility and promote smart growth by combining different space in one location. So this project create more connected and dynamic city environment. Next is selection criteria for mixed-use development. For key factor for site selection is choosing the right location is crucial for successful mixed-use development. Proximity to public transportation like light rail station or bus stop makes commuting easier and attracts both residents and businesses by increasing foot traffic and reducing car dependency. For zoning regulation, also play a key role. If an area is already approved for mixed-use development, the process is faster and more efficient. However, if a location has strategic benefits like high pedestrian activity or closeness to commercial hub, developer may seek zoning modification. Another important factor is how well the development blend with the existing community. It should align with local preference, maintaining suitable building height and complement the surrounding architecture to enhance the urban landscape rather than disrupt it. The role of vacant urban land. So vacant urban land present a great opportunity for mixed-use development. Many cities has underutilized spaces or abandoned property that can be turned into vibrant urban hub. Studies shows that 15% of urban land in US remain vacant, with even higher rate in some regions. For example, in stated in Brookings Institution. This highlight this highlight the potential for repurposing these spaces. Before full-scale development, some cities temporarily use vacant lot for urban garden. parks, or green spaces. This initiative improve air quality, manage stormwater, and create social gathering spots. Over time, these spaces can be transformed into permanent mixed-use development with residential, commercial, and office facilities, bringing life to previously neglected areas. For overall impact, selecting the right site for mixed-use development goes beyond location. It shapes sustainable and thriving communities. Good transportation access, proper zoning, and community integration ensure long-term success. Repurposing vacant land not only provide new housing and businesses opportunity but also strengthen the local economy and improve urban living. With careful planning, mixed-use development can create more connected, livable, and sustainable cities. Next is the development order process. So before starting a mixed-use development in Malaysia, developer must obtain a development order. This process has three main phases. First is the pre-construction phase. Developer submit project proposal and the site plan to local authority. The authority checks the zoning law and environmental impact and infrastructure needs before approval. Next is the construction phase. Developer must follow approved plan and any changes needs further approval. Inspection ensure compliance with regulation. Finally, the post-construction phase. Authority conduct final inspection and issue the certificate of completion and compliance. The property can only be used for or sold after this certification. However, obtaining a DO can be challenging. Different local authorities have different rules which can cause delay. Developers should work with experienced consultants to make the process smoother. Next is the key stakeholder in the development process. There are a total of five key stakeholders. The first one is developer, which they plan and fund the project while ensuring it meets regulation. The next one is local authority. They approve the zoning, environmental, and infrastructure aspect. The third one is consultant, including architect and engineer, ensure the design meets technical standard. The fourth one is the contractor, which they manage the construction process and ensure quality works. And last but not least, the community. They directly impact by development. Engaging with residents helps improve acceptance and integration. Next is the differences between freehold and leasehold properties. So understanding the difference between freehold and leasehold is important when investing in property. Freehold means you own both of the land and the property without time limit. This gives full control over renovation, sales and usage, but it comes with higher upfront costs. On the other hand, leasehold ownership lasts for a fixed period, with the land is still belonging to another party. Leasehold property are usually more affordable, but their value decline as the lease term shorten. Extension requires extra fees and approval. So different countries have different practices. Freehold is common in the US, while leasehold dominates in the UK, especially for apartments. Some countries reserve leasehold for commercial building. When choosing between freehold and leasehold, buyers should consider long-term security versus cost and flexibility. Reviewing this lease term and local law is essential before making a decision. Next is the land restriction and development implications. So owning land doesn't mean you can build anything you want. There's a legal and environmental restriction that must be followed. First, zoning law determine how land can be used, whether for residential, commercial, or industrial purposes. If a site is zoned for a single-family home, you can't build an apartment complex without special approval, which can be difficult to obtain. Next is the environmental regulation, also impact the development. Some lands are in protected area where activities like deforestation or water drainage are restricted. Violating this rule can lead to heavy fine. Another factor is restrictive covenant. Legal agreement that set limit on property use. They may prevent certain type of construction or business activity. This rule stays with the land, meaning future owner must also follow them. To avoid legal issue or unexpected costs, it is crucial to check zoning law, environmental restriction, and any existing agreement before purchasing land. And next is formulating a development proposal. Before any construction begins, Developer must create a detailed plan. This proposal outlines the project purposes, location and design. First, they research the site, checking the zoning law and environmental factors to avoid problems. Then, they assess community needs to ensure demand. Financial planning is also key. Developer estimate costs and secure funding to make the project viable. Experts like architect and engineer help refine the design. Once everything is finalized, the proposal is submitted for approval. A well-prepared proposal increases the chance of success and smooth project execution.
Assalamualaikum. My name is Mohammad Hasrul Aziz. So I will continue the presentation on submission requirement for approval. So why do development projects need local authority? Before starting any construction project, developer must obtain approval from the local authorities. According to Miller and Scott 2020, this ensures that the project follows safety regulation, zoning laws, and urban planning guidelines. Without proper approval, developer is facing legal penalties, project delays, or even demolition order. Next is there are four key documents and approval steps. The first one is submission of a site plan, environmental impact assessment, public consultation process, and the last one is permit application. So for the approval timeline, the time required for approval varies based on project complexity. Smaller project may be approved quickly. Large development can take several months or even years. And once construction begins, regular inspections are conducted to ensure compliance. Next is about plot ratio and land use guidelines. So what is plot ratio and why is it important? So according to Smith 2020, plot ratio is a key factor in urban planning. It is calculated by dividing the total floor area of a building by the size of the land it occupies. This ratio determines how much can be built on a given piece of land, influencing factors such as building height and population density. So how plot ratio affects urban development? High plot ratio or urban areas. In cities where land is limited, higher plot ratio allow for taller building. This help maximize space and accommodate more people but can also lead to traffic congestions and overcrowding. For low plot area, which is suburban area, in suburban areas, lower plot ratio ensure that buildings remain smaller, resulting in more open space, less congestion, and better quality of life. So, for balancing development and sustainability, if a city allows too much construction, problems such as traffic congestions, pressure on public services, and environmental damage can occur by regulating plot ratio. Authorities maintain a balance between urban expansion and livability. Moving on to the plot ratio calculation and regulation. So how is plot ratio calculated? So plot ratio equal to total floor area of the building divided by land area. For the government regulation and approval, local authorities set minimum plot ratios to prevent overcrowding and ensure that infrastructure can handle increased population density. For sustainability consideration, according to Miller 2021, high plot ratio can lead to urban heat islands and pollution. Cities must ensure that public infrastructure such as road and sewage system can support in- increased density. So by carefully regulating pollution, cities can grow sustainably without sacrificing quality of life. Next is about costs and timelines in development. So costs involved at different stages of development. The first one is land purchase. According to Smith 2020, one of the largest expenses in a development project is the cost of acquiring land. Developers often require loans or investment partnership to finance land purchase. Next is planning and approval phase. According to Harris and Clark 2018, before construction begins, developer must pay for zoning application, environmental studies, and also architectural design. For the construction cost, the actual building process involves expenses for material, labor, and also contractor fees. These costs fluctuate depending on market conditions. The fourth is unexpected costs and delays. So issues such as weather condition, legal dispute, or labor shortage can increase project expenses. Developers usually set aside contingency funds to handle unexpected challenges. Last but not least is about post-construction costs. So according to Adam 2019, after the project is completed, developer must pay for property taxes, maintenance, and marketing for leasing or selling the property. Moving on to the compliance and certification. So why compliance is important? Developer must follow local laws, zoning regulation, and environmental policies to ensure that buildings meet safety and legal standards. Ignoring these rules can result in fines, delays, or even demolition orders. So there are several processes of obtaining the certificate of completion and compliance. The first one is developer must follow approved building plans and use high quality material. The project undergoes multiple inspections during the construction process. A final inspection by an architect or engineer ensures that the buildings meet safety standards. So once approved, the certificate of completion is issued, allowing legal sale or rental of the property. So for the common challenges in getting the certificate is such as missing document or unproved changes in the building plan, and also delays in inspection due to safety concerns or lack of compliance. So why following local laws is essential? The first one is ensure safety. Regulation prevent buildings collapse, fire hazard, and ventilation issues. According to Williams 2021, buyers and investors prefer legally certified buildings. Last one is protects the environment. Sustainable construction methods reduce pollution and resource waste. So by prioritizing compliance, developers avoid legal risks and contribute to a safer, well-regulated urban environment.
Hi, my name is Lia Elisana Manja. Today we will be presenting the research methodology for my study on mixed-use development approval in Malaysia. This chapter outlines the research design, data collection method, sampling strategy, and ethical consideration. Okay, let's begin. Research design. This study adopts a qualitative research design focusing on case study and semi-structured interview. This approach allowed for in-depth exploration of the complex regulation surrounding mixed-use development approval. The case study method is particularly useful because it provides a real world analysis of development project, helping us understand how policies, regulation, and industry practice interact. To complement this, semi-structured interview will be conducted with key stakeholders such as developers, planners, and regulatory authorities. This method ensures flexibility in questioning while maintaining a structure focused on key themes. Okay, the next topic is scope of study. The study focused on mixed-use development in urban Malaysia, where such projects are more common. The key areas of investigation includes site selection criteria, which is examine factor influencing land selection, such as location, infrastructure, and regulatory constraint. Second is planning and development process. to understanding the step involved in obtaining a development order and identifying key stakeholder. And third is land tenure and legal consideration to analyze the impact of freehold and leasehold land on development feasibility, and other than that, development proposal and approval, which is assessing the submission, requirement and approval process by local authority. Then focus on cost and time frame, which is investigating the financial aspect and estimating timeline for securing approval. And the last one is for compliance and certification, which is exploring the process of obtaining a certificate of completion and compliance. I'm going to present about research sampling and data collection method. For research sampling is to ensure relevant insight, a purposive sampling technique is used. This approach ensures representation from key stakeholders involved in mixed-use development. The sample includes developer working on mixed-use project. Then second is local authority, representative handling planning approval. And third is land officer managing freehold and leasehold tenure application. And fourth is industry professional, including urban plannings, legal consultant. This diverse selection provides a well-rounded perspective on the approval process. Then, for the data collection methods, it have two primary data collection methods will be used, which is semi-structure interview and document analysis. For semi-structure interview, the interview with key stakeholder will provide first-hand insight into their experience, challenges, and perspective on mixed-use development approval. Then for the document analysis, a review of planning guideline, development policy, land tenure law, and financial requirement will complement the interview finding. Next, I will present about data analysis and ethical consideration. For data analysis, qualitative data will be analyzed using thematic analysis, which involves several key steps, which is transcription and coding. Interview response will be transcribed and systematically coded. Then identifying theme. Key theme will be extracted, particularly those related to regulatory process, land tenure, financing, and feasibility. Then for cross-validation, finding from interview will be compared with document analysis to ensure accuracies. Then for lastly, developer recommendation, which is insight will be used to suggest improvement for the regulatory framework. Next is for ethical consideration. To maintain ethical integrity, the study adheres to the following principle, which is informed consents. Participants will be fully informed of the research objective, confidentiality measure, and their right to withdraw at any times. Then, anonymization. All data will be anonymous to protect participant identity. Then for research validity and reliability, to exchange the credibility of the study, several measures will be applied. Then for triangulation, data from interview and document analysis will be cross-checked for accuracies. Then for member checking, participants will review their interview transcript to ensure correctness. Thick description, detailed explanation will be provided to improve the study applicability to real-world scenario. In conclusion, this research employ a qualitative approach using case study and semi-structured interview. The study focused on mixed-use development in urban Malaysia and examined various aspects of the approval process.
Today, I would like to present a critical analysis of the literature review on mixed-use development. This review provides a valuable insights into the planning, legal consideration, and sustainability aspect of integrating residential, commercial, and industrial spaces. However, upon a closer examination, there are several areas that require a further depth and analysis. Firstly, a lack of comparative analysis. While the review includes various international case studies, it does not compare the successes and failures of this development across different regions. For instance, some mixed-use projects have thrived due to strong economic policies, while others have faced setbacks due to economic downturn, community resilience, or inefficient planning. By including counter-examples, the analysis will present a more balanced perspective. Second, challenges in Malaysia regulations. The review outlines the process of obtaining development order, yet it does not critically assess regulatory inefficiencies. Issues such as bureaucratic delay, inconsistent zoning law among different local authorities, and difficulties in obtaining stakeholder approval are key factors that impact project executions. A deeper exploration of these challenges will provide a more realistic picture of development feasibility. Third, financial risk and economic viability. The review focuses on the financial benefits of mixed-use projects but does not sufficiently analyze potential risks. Market saturation, shift in property demand, and economic instability are critical concerns. A detailed evaluation of return on investment and financial sustainability over the long term will strengthen the analysis. Next, social and environmental factors. While sustainability is mentioned, the review does not fully explore the social consequences of mixed-use development. Issues such as displacement of existing community, gentrification, and affordability must be considered. Additionally, the environmental impact of high-density development, such as increased energy consumption, waste management challenges, and carbon footprints, are required further assessment. Uh, Lastly, prospect for further future research. The literature review could be improved by suggesting future research direction. Topics such as innovative urban planning strategies, the role of smart technologies in mixed-use development, and policy recommendations for improving implementation efficiency will provide a more forward-thinking approach. Today, I will discuss the requirement, procedure, and restrictions associated with freehold and leasehold land treasure in Miri and how they impact development viability. Miri urban growth is significantly influenced by the legal and procedure differences between freehold and leasehold land. For freehold land, developers must comply with the Sarawak Land Code and the Miri City Local Plan 2030. The process includes land title verification, survey plan, and conducting environmental impact assessment to ensure compliance with environmental regulation. In contrast, leasehold and land development involve additional challenges. Developers must secure approval and periodic renewal, adding layer of complexity to the process. This makes long-term planning and investment more uncertain compared to freehold land. Additionally, land tenure imposes restrictions that affect development possibilities. Under the Sarawak Land Code, freehold landowners enjoy ownership rights but not still adhere to town planning and zoning regulations to ensure orderly development. However, leasehold that requires direct approval from the State Planning Authority and its limited tenure makes long-term investment strategies more challenging. In conclusion, understanding these legal procedure distinctions is very important for developer and investor aim to maximize marriage development potential. The choice between freehold and leasehold changes not only affect project viability but also determines the level of regulatory involvement and long-term economic sustainability. Let's take a closer look at the critical analysis of the local development process, broken into four key stages. Stage 1: Pre-development stage. In this stage, the initial concept is developed by an architect, ensuring compliance with zoning regulations. A land surveyor assesses the land size, site restrictions, and any lot features. Verification searches and land ownership checks are conducted at the Sarawak Land and Survey Department. Developer must meet with the local council's planning department to improve their proposal. Stage 2: Development Order (DO). Stage here, developers submit a development order application which includes architecture plan, environmental impact assessment evaluation, and infrastructure schematic. Plans undergo technical evaluation and public hearings. The development order is typically issued within 3 to 6 months for freehold land projects, while leasehold projects may take 9 to 12 months. Stage 3: Construction phase. Developers submit an application for building plan approval after receiving the development order. Inspections are conducted at various phases throughout this stage to ensure compliance. Lastly, stage 4: Post-construction stage. The final stage includes inspections by specialists and utility provider. Developers then apply for the Certificate of Completion and Compliance or CCC from the Law Council, ensuring all as-built drawing and utility clearance certificates are complete.
Hi, my name is Awang Razi Hanis, and next I will continue to present the critical analysis on the local process. For time, fees, and associated cost, firstly is the fee structure. The development order application fees range from 5,000 ringgit to 20,000 ringgit for administrative expenses and compliance verification. Next is environmental impact and assessment with EIS, which range from 10,000 to 50,000 depending on project scale and environmental sensitivity. Next is state consent for leasehold projects. The fees are estimated as a percentage of the land's worth, often ranging from 10% to 15%. And for subdivision approval, the fees range from 15% to 20% of the land value, which reflect administrative and planning procedures. For the land conversion fees, it is determined by difference between the current value and the proposed value. For the estimated timeframes, for land conversion process, it usually takes about 6 to 12 months, depending on the complexity and responsiveness of each parties. For the development order approval, it will take about 3 to 6 months for freehold land, while 9 to 12 months for leasehold projects. Certificate of completion and compliance insurance ideally will take within 14 days after final inspection. However, despite this, the backlogs with utility providers and other final permission can impact the timeline of this estimated for the conversion and subdivision procedures. The land conversion and subdivision are crucial for mixed-use plans and require rezoning or separate ownership. Submission must include a land use rationale, report, public consultation records, and documentation of development alignment with Miri City Council's flood mitigation specification. Subdivision must include Form 5A and a licensed surveyor's plan, and state authority prioritizes subdivision supporting housing demand and economic growth. Agricultural landowners may resist commercial expansion in remote areas. And finally is for the application for certificate of completion and compliance, where this procedure is mandated by the Street Drainage and Building Act 1974, which will make sure that developments meet legal standards prior to occupation. A certified architect or engineer will undertake the final inspections, while utility suppliers such as Sarawak Energy Berhad (SEB), as well as Laku Management Sendirian Berhad for Miri, will certify the electricity and water connection respectively. Delays in CCC processing often comes from the utility clearance backlogs, especially in high-density regions like Marina Miri. In order to increase efficiency, the Miri City Council has implemented digital submission portals. However, manual inspection remains a significant bottleneck.
In conclusions, these assignments can help provide in-depth information on mixed-use development, whose importance increasingly become a factor in urban planning due to population growth, economic benefits, and sustainability. Not to mention, it also critically analyze the regulatory landscape in Malaysia, particularly in Sarawak, detailing the procedure for obtaining development approval, land conversion, and compliance with local law. Overall, it shows how mixed-use project combine residential, commercial, and recreational area to make urban living more enjoyable, reduce transportation costs, and improve community socialization.